Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Thank you. I didn't say what the hell is doing. Anyway, yeah, yeah. Welcome, one and all. It's on live. Yup. All up on your line. Right. Wasting some time. Only got 30 minutes to join the string, yeah. Please be a part of me and the pizza team. We was peace. While I'm seeing pizza team. Keep we was peace. Oh shit. This wasn't what I was trying to do. That wasn't what I was trying to do. Damn, I got fucked up and confused. So please take me back to what we do. This is what we do. Yeah, appreciate you. It's Motivation Monday, y'all. Happy Monday. We getting minds motivated while we taking time to put down the things that we grind for. This is here and what we are here to do. You know what I'm saying? In here are me and you, the few that understand what it is to do what it do. When minds get motivated to move, we often have to take that inventory to make sure that we know where we are coordinating ourselves. You know, not always an easy task. Sometimes shit gets difficult. But as a person looking to continue to strive for great things and continue to be better than before, be better than before, and you know, shape your one's own destiny. You know, we take in these obstacles. You know what I'm saying? And work on how to better expand. Yeah, 'cause we definitely want to know. You know, we want to know what that is, what that's like, what that's about. You know, because listen, I understand. I don't know about y'all, but I do. I definitely do. I know what that's about. You know what I mean? Ooh, what was I about to do? Oh yeah.
BL artists on the right. New group. Keyboard hidden. Classic. Send. Button. Same text. Write a message. Edit. English. Capital W. Wind. Capital Y. Yank. Capital Q. Quebec. Capital W. R. C. E. L. L. O. I. L. Backspace. Deleted. L. Space bar. L. I. O. L. Lima. L. I. I. F. E. E. R. E. E. Sim. Plus. Exclamation mark. Plus. Space bar. Space bar. Capital L. Backspace. Deleted. I. Deleted. Deleted. E. E. L. L. U. I. I. C. E. 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 Symbol. Show plus. Tap that exclamation mark. Plus. Space bar. Space bar. 1. Shift on. Shift off. 1. A. Alpha. Q. A. Shift off. Shift on. Shift lock. Show toolbar function 1. Tap to activate. Capital Q. Capital M. Period. Capital O. Capital M. Period. O. Capital T. Period. T. Capital J. Capital N. Cap period. N. Shift symbol. Caret. Tap to activate. Semicolon. Colon. Space bar. Shift lock. Tap to activate. Show toolbar. Clipboard. Back. Send. Button. One-handed keyboard. 1. Backspace. L.
Damn it.
Backspace. Deleted. Show toolbar. Thus. L. 2 of 9. Show tool. 1. Clipboard. Send. Button. Keyboard input.
What's motivating you this week?
Tap. A clean crown. Blonde. Listeners. A clean crown. Blonde. Editing. We live. QOCN. What's motivating you this week? Edit. Send. Keyboard input. Keyboard hidden. Shift off. Expand toolbar. Symbol.
Yes.
One-handed. Question mark. Week. Colon. Space bar. Space bar. Edit. Black. Editing. Send. Button.
Yeah.
Keyboard hidden. Tap to activate.
Yeah.
Tap and hold to view the
I'm
next
sorry, I had to
story.
put that in there. But I had to get that in there for a reason. Just wanted to make that known.
Out of list. Instagram.
So,
Listeners. The TV show sent a live video. User present.
with all things accounted for,
The TV show bulletin board. Unread.
we tend to look into these things and take them in, you know what I'm saying? Because we want people to catch that. We want y'all to catch on, get hold, you know what I mean? Grab a hold of it. But, yeah, we're definitely looking towards, you know what I'm saying, expanding and constantly looking to put things in the atmosphere that should be there, you know what I'm saying? Positive vibes only. We look to putting the world on point. Because people, we need to be in a place where awareness is common sense. Being aware of things that are going on in the world today and how we should react in order to counterbalance some of these damaging effects of what motivates the mind and what motivates people, you know what I mean? So for me personally, I definitely am a person who loves to, you know what I'm saying, get the understanding, the full gravity of how these things work, man, because it's too many people out here in the world for us to go into these situations not knowing how these things affect us all. And for me, it's just very much bad, you know, representation of how we deal with the world around us when we're, you know, just knowledge, we're the most advanced creatures on this planet. But you got to deal with the fact that majority of this situation involves everybody thinking in the same grades
I was looking for
instead of people being
by
so
Dark City.
separate
Tap to
in
activate. Tap
mindset.
to hold to long press.
You know what I'm saying?
Shaking face shake.
Because all of
Media
this is
profile.
counterproductive to the
Message. Edit box.
overall goal.
What's up? Think it's really profile. Scan message.
And my whole
Bro, I
thing
just
is,
got on there, but my front camera has an issue right now.
I'm
Input.
saying to myself, I'm like,
Hold
what's
to activate message for
motivating
this
you?
message.
What's motivating y'all? What's keeping y'all in the fight? What's got y'all constantly going? What's got y'all constantly soaring for better things to happen? You know what I'm saying? Because for me, you know what I mean, I want to know what it is that, you know, has put you in that mind state, you know what I mean, got you driven to succeed, you know what I mean? Because we want to hear that story. That inspiration needs to be spread, you know what I'm saying? Because to be honest with you, some of the people that I bring in here, we are not talking about, you know, tailor made suit wearing people. You know what I mean? We are talking about the regular, degular, average Joes that go through these things daily, just like regular people. And we want to connect with them. We want to talk to them because not only are they regular people, they're also artists in the industries as well. You know, we're looking to put ourselves in that position. And, you know, just because no matter who you are, whether you're a low end or on the higher end of celebrity in the music, listen, we get it. We get it. It's a lot of things going on about that. You know what I mean? And
Overlay.
one of the one ways that you counter this whole thing, you know what I'm saying? You make
More.
sure
Button.
that each and every,
The TV
you
show
know, time,
off.
this does not interfere
Yes.
with how
Button.
you approach a situation. You know what I mean?
Close modal. Participant.
I want to check my.
Mr. Dig. Invite guest. No next default. Miss. Part. Close. Modal. Close.
Yeah, because I mean, hell,
Ignore.
we
Video.
definitely deal with a lot of different
Regular
things
user
right
manner.
now. So, you know what I mean? You just don't know
Off. No comment on
where
stage.
people are in the world. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day,
Comment on. High comment.
I'm just
Toggle button.
like I'm a regular person, man. So, you know, I'm a regular person,
Banners.
but I
Tab.
do a good deal
Double
of
tap to
things
activate.
outside of what, you know,
Brand. Selected.
others
Live.
in the
Start
normal
view.
world do.
Tab.
But aside
Screen.
from that, I'm still
Live
a
viewer
regular
comment.
person.
Off. TV. The TV show. Off.
That's the one I want to keep
On.
that one in there.
TV. The TV show live.
Because for some reason I was like
TV.
looking at that, I'm like,
Comment
wait a
action.
minute, where are you going? Where'd
Off.
you go? I didn't
Show.
want you to go away.
The TV show live. Show
Yeah,
comment on stage.
because you know, you
Toggle button.
you never actually know ooh, what's going on with another person. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's always best to, you know, connect and try to do that. You know what I mean? Try to figure it out. You know, work on, you know, who you are to these people, who these people are to you, and how significant a role do they play in your life. You know, but also, you know, we have to learn how to manage and get along with others as well, you know. And truth be told, this is probably gonna be the toughest thing, and one of the toughest things that you'll ever see coming out of, you know, this particular species of people, because we have rivalries, we have, you know, all of these things that show competitive sides of our species as human race, and it's so it's almost nauseating how much of a oversaturation of the competitive nature we possess, you know, and to be engaging like so in, so intent and fiercely, it just makes for a lot of things that I don't know. It's just it makes for a lot of things that I don't see necessary. But I think of it as more or less one of those things where we look at like the fact that each time we address or don't address these particular scenarios, we either vacate the option to salute these options or these radical choices, or
Screen off.
we
Ring
get
silent.
ourselves so caught into it that we can't. Oh God, damn! Why am I yawning so much? Maybe because I am tired. But we have so many things that we can think on and we discuss about this whole situation. So it's a lot of enlightened situations that I myself feel like, you know what I mean, we have to, go on and try to determine for ourselves because we cannot make a collective, answer to it, which is sad, but it shouldn't hinder us from completing tasks of a massive scale, like, correcting issues with our planet. Oh, oh, excuse me. Or just, handling natural disasters with the effort attempts of a united front, you know, because too many times do I think of this world we are in as a place where we have to understand we are on a living thing. This planet is alive. Yes, it is alive. Metaphorically and physically. It is alive. Okay? The air we breathe is the oxygen from this planet, and what better way to describe it, you know what I mean? Oh, the planet has layers, like much like, any human being, or, in the words of Shrek, ogres have layers. Right? But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like we really, really are trying to expand thought processes with, our motivation talks where we jump in here with you guys to get motivated with you. Oh, uh, uh, in so many ways. I think myself personally, maybe it's because this is one of those weeks. It's kind of slouch. It's not so hyper active like it usually is. You know what I mean? So with all of this going on, it makes it kind of a well, I'll get to it when I can. I'm kind of drained. You know, but I myself personally, I find so many joys in just doing different things. Being able to commit to having a whew, well-rounded life right now, mentally a well-rounded life, even if it's not in the physical form where you see that I'm well off or something to that effect. You know what I mean? However, people determining it nowadays, but that's just me. You know what I'm saying? I think that in any case, I would probably act and do the same thing, regardless of how I approach the situation or how I came into a situation. Because truth be told, I'm more or less now practicing, since my adulthood years have taken on a whole new phase. I'm pushing middle age, and at this point in my life, you know what I mean. I'm just like, well, I'm not here to fucking veneer throw a veneer over my appearance to people. You know what I'm saying? I want you to know who I am for real. You feel me? But while you think about what's motivating you this week, we're gonna smoke some dank for the West Coast. Thank you. Where did you get thinking that that was what I asked for? Some of the corniest stuff this damn thing be doing. Oh, but you know, technology for you can't be satisfied doing one thing. Shout out to my folks on the West Coast. This is a West Coast love thing, man. And if you love it like I love it, and you 420 friendly, smoke some shit. Smoke some shit. But that's exactly what we doing tonight. Smoke this shit. I myself gotta go hit the stizzy, make a restop, cause my man, I'm kind of fucked up. On the low low, no cap, fucked. So yeah, the goal now is to get my shit back, get all my situations back going, rolling, flowing, moving, grooving like they supposed to be doing what they doing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like to ask ourselves the question, what's motivating you this week? What drives you? What pushes you to get through today till the weekend to handle those day to day tasks that will occur during this week? You know, what is this week so significant? Like, for example, just yesterday was my beloved mother's birthday. You know what I'm saying? So I'm throwing a happy late, but still I got her early anyway. Birthday shout out to my mom. You know what I'm saying? So any of y'all that's checking in, y'all see that Karma Seduction jumping in the comments. That is my mother. Yes, I love her. And yes, we do the damn thing. I showed up and promoted her book, which will be coming shortly. Um, just letting you guys know that's what I was doing last week when y'all see me wearing that shirt. Seduction Karma. That is definitely where we are. We are definitely on it like that. So much love to mommy celebrating her birthday yesterday, and to my other uh, Virgo Libra family that are joining the celebration, like my little sis whose birthday was earlier this month, around the first weeks of the month on the 7th, and also coming up my grand, yeah, hers is coming up next week. So much love to that. You know what I'm saying? I got my cousin coming around closer to the end of the month next week as well. So you see what I'm saying? It's all love here, a big full deck. You know what I'm saying? And we are definitely showing love and celebrating all that good stuff because it's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? And to be in good company is the way to be. You know what I'm saying? As you move through these things in life, through these obstacles we are faced with in life, we are often looking to, find also that peace in life. You know what I'm saying? Because we yearn for that, you know what I mean, at some point. We don't often always want to be immersed in, stress filled situations. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I'm motivating mine. So, like for myself personally, I'm looking into different things for myself, trying to showcase myself in a different way. I'm also trying to work on different things as far as how we're doing here on the show and behind the scenes with Mr. J Guns. Everything, you know what I'm saying? The artist's name, the artistries, the registries, and all of these different things that we have to endure just to make sure that we're doing all that we can to give you guys the best quality thing here that we can ever do. You know, this particular situation for me is just a way for me to take in the opportunity to become something better than what I was while still finding that passion in the pursuit that I pursued so many years ago. You know what I mean? Because I, was telling myself that I wanted to be this person, but I never really analyzed how I wanted to arrive to this occasion, or to this opportunity. So myself, you know what I mean. I'll admit, you know what I mean. I didn't really start taking my music seriously and pushing my music seriously, trying to actually, uh, submit a way into the industry until 2016. I don't know. It was maybe something about the things that were going on 2015, 2016 probably sparked a huge array of things for a lot of people, you know what I mean? But for me personally, what it told me was I need to start making some things happen for myself and take the time to actually, see how far I could potentially go instead of, cocking the gun and shooting off blanks and not shooting, not spending a live round, taking the time to understand the method and behind the difference and all of these different things. You know what I'm saying? How my technique would pursue. And personally, making sure that every piece of stuff that I'm doing is put in a way where I can keep account. You know, what's happening, Mr. Brock? I see you on a Monday tapping in, bro. All right, give me just a second. I'm coming get you. Hey, hey now. Hey, hey now.
Go with
There we go.
Instagram. View, but in list.
Yes, sir.
Double tap to activate.
It's motivation, man. We always motivating minds with the conversation that we put in people's head, man. Like, cause today's episode is all about that. We want to get your brain cooking. We want to get your brain working and make these things, you know what I'm saying, flow in you on a regular basis so that they drive you to continue keeping forward, keeping moving. You know what I'm saying, doing what you're doing to stay in tune with the groove. It's just what we love doing here. You know what I mean? And all too often do I see a lot of different situations. I see a lot of different situations going on with that. What's happening, Sapphire? Shout out to the Sapphire Steve in the building. You know what it is. The one and only Queen, Six Queen from Toronto. You know how we do. It's much love to you. It's much love to you. It's all good things that come out of this situation when you join the PV show, tapping in. I appreciate the followers that joined the show today too as well. I appreciate everybody because real talk, man. We come into this show and all we want to do is give you a platform to talk to us, get your message out there, maybe hear your point of view. You know what I'm saying? Along with inviting you to experience music from a level that is not like your average mainstream artist. You know what I'm saying? From local talent who may even be in a neighborhood near you. You see what I'm saying? And they're not just coming from the US. We're talking these underrated artists who are making a mark in the industry even as we speak. So this is something that, you know what I'm saying, we want to be able to introduce to you guys from this platform. This is what I do here on this show. While we spend an hour with you guys Monday through Saturdays having these little talks and play PlayStation performances and all of that good shit. Like it just happens to be the way that I really see that this show should go because like yo, we do an hour segment with you guys. You do realize that we could go longer. But because the discussions only stay in an hour pocket because most of us don't have time to spend time with me like that. Trust me. If y'all was willing to sit here longer than an hour, I would sit here longer than an hour and talk about these topics. But at the end of the day, I keep to an 8 o'clock schedule. I keep to a 7 to 8 block, hour block, because I want to give you guys something central to work with. Therefore, if the show lays over and you happen to see me live on IG, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch at 9 and 10 o'clock, it's because I actually wanted to engage in this conversation and it has lasted thus far. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we leave that platform here available to you guys because I myself personally want you to see the the real stories or the messages coming in from different people who really want to engage in the show and take you know everything just as you know impactfully serious as the things that we talk about here because we discuss a lot of different things. We discuss things that may seem in a way controversial to certain people. We discuss things that definitely set a certain tone or a precedent about how we approach situations in here. And hey, we might not always be right either. But I can tell you one thing, at least we acknowledge something is wrong. And with us acknowledging that something is wrong, we also acknowledge that, hey, we need to have a common discourse, a common conversation to hash this shit out. And where else to do this but on a platform in a place where we can orchestrate a discussion of sorts that people will really motivate, to or gravitate to because we can pull in your perspective personally and add it to the ledger. You see what I'm saying? I'm here for that. I'm here for that. You know, and what it is at the end of the day, you know, for example, like last Saturday, this past Saturday, we had sort of a heckler in the comments, yesterday, that, Saturday Night Cipher. Shout out to Mr. You Know Me, joined the show this past Saturday. You know what I'm saying? We had us a nice little time. I do agree. It was lovely, but um, things happen. You know what I'm saying? And what better place for them to happen but in a place where then you can be to yourself, hey, look, if you seen what was going on, you would know, or you were there, you would know, you know. And there are certain scenarios that are self-explanatory, you know what I'm saying? So in that instance, you know what I'm saying, you deal with different situations as they come. And even me myself, I apologize. I apologize right then and there, but I am not one to accept any person that comes to me with disrespect, especially when that's the first thing that came off your jaw. Literally, the first comment off your shit was yo whack ass bars. Wait a minute, I'm what? Hold up, you do realize I'm just playing, right? I've said that a few times before you even walked in the door. Hence the reason why I say that a lot, because I don't want y'all to get the impression that I'm seriously diving in on these shits. I'm having fun. I'm not, taking my time to think about, what I'm saying and all of it. No, because if that were the case, then most likely you would hear a whole different approach. You know what I'm saying? I really would have took that shit. I would have been like, nah, listen, ooh, and I give you shit. You know what I'm saying? So please, please do not get me misconstrued. I said to you, as I say to everyone that joins Saturday Night Cypher, I'm just having fun with it. I'm just playing around with it. You don't even have to take it serious if you want to. You know, it's up to you. You know, I'm just playing. If it seems like what I'm saying is making me seem like I'm going off, like, nah, not really. Because I could seriously go off and you would be like, oh, now say that. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, personally, I'm a person of principles. I try not to get into all of that extra shit. But some people, you have to kind of lay the line out with it, man. Like, and I don't know, but shout out to Mr. You Know Me, man, for expressing the fact that yeah, that's okay, I get you, I got you, copy. But at the end of the day, again, it goes back to what I said. I'm not gonna let anybody just say shit to me like that. Like, and you came into my space and decided to bang on me like, hold up, bro. You don't know who you're dealing with. You don't even know the scenario. You probably just ran in, seen somebody because you've seen a familiar person and decided to slide in behind them, but then you realized that it wasn't what it wasn't. You didn't even realize it was that. I get it, even if it was a joke. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm not one of those people that like that. Seriously, I wouldn't have even took it serious had it not been for the fact that she caught what it sounded like to me even after I introduced her to the show. It's like, wait a minute, homie, I don't know what you're expecting me to not, how you're expecting me to respond to this. Like, I only giving you what you gave me. You know what I'm saying? I'm only giving you what you gave me. So for anybody that felt like I was wrong, I will apologize. I mean, I truthfully can be a harsh person when you get on my bad side, but at the end of the day, I was just basically reading the comments. I said, I made my gestural comment, which again is an opinion. You can hate it or love it. If you said that my shit is whack, I can say fuck you, and you can be just as upset, and it'll be just me saying something in reference to the response of what I feel like I should be able to say when I'm just playing around. If I was actually to say that this was not, what I'm saying, like this ain't even me going hard. This is me joking, me clowning, me, you know, sifting through my brain to see how fast I can come up with a phrase or a sentence that will make sense in a rhyme in a matter of the time on a tempo that I think suits the freaking wordplay. You know what I mean? And it actually makes sense when you hear it coming later. You know what I mean? I don't calibrate that, but I do think in my mind how, of that process, you know what I'm saying? When I'm writing, when I'm, freestyling and stuff, I'm actually thinking about, I start thinking about what I'm going to say next. Not only do I think about what I'm saying, I'm also thinking about what I'm saying next. I think that's a lot of us as artists. But again, it also runs back to the fact that it's a lot of artists that if you're not playing and you get said that that's what it is or something, that'd be a different story. Like, I'm gonna keep it real. If I was playing, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I was trying to figure out what the hell happened. Now, I'm glad that gets you in here though. Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, just the opportunity to advance, you heard me? To
Right.
still be good and able, you know what I'm saying, to still get that rhyme across, man. You know, it's 50 years of hip hop, you heard me? So
Right.
I guess being a part of it just says a lot, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, and hell, look at us now. We're talking in a sense of, referencing hip hop, you know what I mean, on the 50th anniversary, the year that, marks 50 years that hip hop has been in existence. And, in that journey, I've learned a lot. Shit, I've only been around for less than, a little more than, you know, let, you know, I've only missed out on the first maybe 10 years of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Growing up as an 80s baby, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, that shit came out 11 years after my ass even came to this planet, you know? So looking at, what hip hop had done to me as an influential person, as an, inspired person who listened to artists. I listened to the Curtis Blows, and I listened to the, Dougie Freshes, and the, you know, Eric Sermons, and, Keith Murray's, and the, before the Redman and Method Man's, and you know what I'm saying? Like we had EPMDs and Rakims and Big Daddy Kane's and Cool Mo
You
D's.
know,
And
hearing all that, some of them, down south, we ain't get too much, New York rap, you know what I'm saying? Like
that's what
in
I'm
Beat
saying.
Street,
The Beat
like
Streets,
when the Busta, you know what I'm saying? The Busta
yeah,
Rhymes, the Jay Z's, you know what I'm saying? The
that's what
Mean
I'm
Place.
saying. That's what I'm saying. But even in that sense though, bro, even at that time, you gotta also remember there were dope artists from the South coming out. Fuck. Two Live
All
Crew
of that
set
to be
Two Live Crew set in motion a whole wave of music,
the public enemy, that's what I like to hear.
you know? And that's what influenced me. Cause truth be told, to be real honest with you, that kind of was the level of music that I was on. If it wasn't, you know, talking about listening to, music that talked about empowering minds, you know, giving people strength in times of weakness. Like I literally just man, I just heard a track from A Tribe Called Quest. Some crack joint I haven't heard in forever. Shout out to the Tribe Called Quest. I mean, excuse me, producer of the one track that I fucks with from back in the '90s. Shout out to that song too. So stressed out featuring Faith Evans on the chorus. Beautiful song, yo. Absolutely beautiful song. Because real talk, yo, it's it's real in the field. It's real in the field. And something that people need to understand, like hell, behind the closed doors, like we see all of these situations taking place. Hell, nobody would know unless you say something, you know? But for me, you know what I'm saying, I look towards just getting motivated and staying motivated to keep moving forward because eventually it all works itself out. You should, I would tell you just this, something I didn't even give no expression to, but last week, last week I was stressing. I was stressing hard. Nobody would have never knew because of how I perceived my persona on this show today. If you go back on last week's episode, you would never think on those shows that I was having an issue behind the camera. I was having plenty of goings on happening behind the camera that was fucking with my mental. It was starting to break my ass down last week, but at the same time, I didn't let it get to me. Even though I also had a time where it had got really bad. I mean, and it got real bad. It was Wednesday actually that it got so bad. I was just like, oh man, I don't even know if I want to do Wednesday show. But as y'all see, we came in with it. You know what I mean? We was a little bit late that day on Wednesday, but hell, we came in with it. Shit. Speaking of Wednesday, let me just let y'all know. New Wave Music Wednesday is looking for new artists' submissions to get it in. If you are an artist out there and you got some music to submit, come on with it, Mr. J Guns at gmail.com. You can hit me up there. Or if you're out there on the Discord world, if you're in the Discord servers, holla at your boy at the PV Show Discord server and drop it into my channel marked submit here under the column New Wave Music Wednesday. So specific column, specific server, you know what I'm saying? Come holler at me there. If you don't want to do that, you can also hit me up on WhatsApp. If you got WhatsApp, +1 518 776 5154. Drop that in there. YouTube, SoundCloud, take some band labs, some rap chats if you got them, MP3s. But I'm only taking those because, truth be told, too many of them damn streaming networks get too much of our money, and I don't approve. I think if you guys are supporting, I support you guys in those ways because SoundCloud, you get your music copywritten. You can't really, nobody can take it from you there. You know what I mean? Um, but if you post in somewhere, any of these other platforms, like there's a potential your shit can get stolen. So it just happens. Like, and not only that, you know, let's make it a little more accessible for you. You know what I mean? Let's make your music accessible so that your stuff can come in and people can get the flavor that they crave and find out who you are as an artist when it comes to creating that shit. So you know what I mean? Just don't hesitate, drop it in. You got until Wednesday night, 7 p.m. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna look up a list. Uh Speaking of the next day, tomorrow's episode, Topic Tuesday, we got a topic for you guys um, we're going to talk about. But before we get into that topic, I'm going to let you guys know just a heads up. On my other page on IG, go check out Mr. J Gunn's official story and take the poll. You know, because I have a questionnaire I have a questionnaire. It's a multiple choice. There's 3 answers you can pick. I want to see which one you pick. So we're gonna do that, and hopefully, we will see where it goes from there. Because real talk, like I just want to make sure that we take in all of that, you know. And then I also got an idea on how we're gonna do another. We're gonna see if we can set up polls for New Wave Music Wednesday as well. See, I think we're gonna start that one on Thursday though. That poll on is gonna start Thursday morning. So like Thursday morning when I get up, I'll try to create a poll for the story with, you know what I mean, something for you guys to snap onto. Because it's easy, but it's kind of hard when you want to get it the right way. Because it's not always the easy way to set it up. So with IG giving y'all opportunity to kind of do things a different way, they kind of trying to make it all unique and crafty for you. It's not always a good thing. It's real shit. Real shit. But at the end of the day, man, we look at all of these things that we go through and try to we try to iron it out. You know, try to figure out how we're gonna get through it all. You know what I mean? And we look at one thing that we don't ask ourselves. You know what I'm saying? What is that one thing that drives us? What is that one thing that consistently sits in the back of our head and says to us, yo, when you want to sit back and just be like, I don't want to do nothing today. That something just jumps, it's like a bolt of lightning. It shocks you out of your seat, makes you get up and want to go. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't sit still. That it's something in the mind that sets off and says, look, whether you like it or not, it's time to extend yourself into this thing. Feel that uncomfortability to get ready for the new thing that's going to shape your life. You know what I'm saying? So that in a more synthesized, smaller spectrum, we want to ask that question. That's why we come to you guys on Monday mornings or Monday evenings. I'm sorry, like this. Shout out to my folks over in the UK that's out there checking us out at 12 a.m. in the morning. Because we give y'all about 5 hours. Y'all are already on Tuesday's episode. No cap. So appreciate y'all for rocking with us on that. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like we all have like something inside of us that drives us to do the things that we're doing. And I feel like we should all have, anybody that joins my show, I know. Let's just keep it real. We've been pretty much put up in the adult content section when it comes to what we do as content here for the PZ show. Let's keep it real. We don't have, conversations for people for the little people of the world. Like anybody, no offense to the, short people, small people of the world, but I myself don't, go into conversations, based on people who are younger than 18. Because at the end of the day, I'm a grown ass man and I want to talk about what's going on outside. Cause shit going on outside ain't Jolly Ranchers and soda pop. You feel me? You dig? So it's a lot more than that. So at the end of the day, there's a lot of things going on in the world that we don't really put in the eyes. We don't put that in the face of the children. You see what I'm saying? We don't put that in the face of the children. So for me, I'm just keeping it real. Like this show, I wouldn't reference this show I wouldn't put this show in front of my daughter. My daughter is 2 years old. Why would I read that? You know what I'm saying? My son, I wouldn't put this in front of him. And I would if I did, I would pick a specific episode. One in particular where I didn't go too damn far into the cursing, which at the end of the day, he's 15. You probably heard it before. But at the same time, you don't want that impression. And he's of a certain age where he can hear that and discern, what is good and what is bad. So at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I myself personally, I look at this as a blank what do they call it? A blank canvas. You know what I'm saying? Every episode is like every episode I do here on the show is like a blank canvas. It's an opportunity for us to give you a picture, paint a picture on each episode, each show. You know what I mean? Give you that mindset to say, hey, I never thought of it that way. Or, man, I'm glad I hear somebody talking about the shit that I was thinking about. Because it seemed like nobody else was talking about it. We try to get into those conversations. And we want to have them in a group setting, in a group environment where it's more than just me. It's more than just one or two. You know what I'm saying? Because we have the ability to bring in more people. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like if we can continue to build from this, we can continue to structure everything to this place and then turn this around to be able to give you a place that is central to us, to how we set aside from the rest. You know what I mean? It can be a special home for all of us to turn on to, you know what I mean, an informing place. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some people out here that, you know what I mean, are probably listening and
USA
getting this
underscore Rico
information.
USA
They
underscore
need this
Rico underscore.
information.
What's the convo about?
Today's conversation, if you are listening and you're checking in, you want to check up the question of the day. The question of the day is as follows. What's motivating you this week? All right. What's got you pushing forward to get through this week to get to the end of it? Because we are on the top of the week. We're at Monday. Monday is the top of the work week. We got to get to Friday. We know Friday is the end of the week. The weekend is there. We got all weekend long to relax and enjoy. For those of us that only work Monday through Friday, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? What's got you driving through that week? What's got you getting this thing going? What's got you pushing forward to get through to Friday? You know what I'm saying? That's your Motivation Monday question of the day. And like I said, we got less than 5 minutes now to get it in. You got time to chill with me, hit it up with me. You know what I mean? Come through. Because, hey, we can always use another word from you. So that's what we do. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, King, for joining me today, though, man. That was a blessing. I was expecting to be here, sitting here, just having a, kind of solo dolo conversation. But
I just got my time mixed up, man. I'll be asleep, during the day.
yeah, bro, I understand. I understand. This is the love thing for me, man, and it's just a beautiful thing for me. You know what I'm saying? I look at this as an opportunity for everything. There you go. Get your money and go to bed. Wait a minute. I'm pitted that because it'll let me do it now. Motherfuckers. Hey, mama. That's what I'm talking about. Shout out to my mom that popped in here at the last minute. You know what I mean? Tonight's question of the day, like I said, what's motivating you this week? We have things that motivate the mind and get people going. You know what I'm saying? Like, this conversation doesn't have to end here. We could say we could say in the next 3 to 2 minutes that we're going to go down. We're going to drop this live. Or if there's anyone else that would like to tap in tonight and join the conversation, what's motivating you this week? We want to hear from you. Tell us what you think.
What's motivating you this week?
Because that's where we are. You know what I'm saying? We're at the top of the week, and we got to figure out how to get to the end. You know? So, I don't know.
My motivation is growth and development. That's what I stand on.
That's right. Growth and development. That's a good one. That's a good one. I like that. I like that. Because that's really what it's about. That's what it's about. It's about growth and development. We have a bunch of things going on out here. We got a bunch of situations in the world. You know what I mean? Where we have to pay attention to shit. I'm honest, like telling y'all, man, we just really have to.
Record comments. Pin comments. Added moderator.
How about that?
A moderator can turn off confirm button.
I'll let you rock with me. Since you've been rocking in the comments with me like that, I'll let you rock with me since you're gonna be here. Because that sounds like a great idea. So, like I said, like we all have these situations and shit. And you know what I'm saying? Like, we know where we want to be at in life. We want to see ourselves a lot better than we are, most of us, if not all of us. You know what I'm saying? But due to certain circumstances, we have as what we like to call barricades or hurdles or obstacles. We look at now how to, get over those obstacles. You know what I'm saying? Take ourselves. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I like that one. I like that. I'm motivated. I like that. Hold on, let me put that. Let me put that. That was nice. That was nice. I like that. Yo, you coming slick with it. I like that. But nah, that was dope though. What I'm saying, like we you know what it is. Like we're in a place in time where, you know, things ain't what they used to be. People aren't who they say they are anymore. You know, there used to be, you know, a time we were literally just having the same conversation. Thank you. I was having the same conversation with one of my family members yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my cousin. We were just talking about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's people in this world that are uncomfortable with the fact that people are starting to realize falsehoods and things that we knew as normalcy. You know what I'm saying? Or what they try to qualify as a normalcy here. You know what I mean? And what people have realized is that everything on the surface is only just that. You know what I mean? It's now a whole level of shit that's going on underneath that we have to now be in eyewear of, because you don't know what the hell that could bring to you. That's a lot of different situations we go into. You know what I mean?
So like
What
in 30 years, 39 years of hip hop, what's different?
in the 39 years of hip hop, the evolution of hip hop has gone as follows. All right, the music that came out when hip hop was first introduced to the street is a complete 360 from what you hear now. Let me tell you why. And I'm saying it like this because I'm breaking it down for you, right? You listen to artists like, you know, Slick Rick, right? Listen to artists like, you know, Q-Tip. Listen to artists like, matter of fact, for example, listen, primary example of an artist that you should really take in is Rapper's Delight, going from the beginning, right? Taking it back to the Sugar Hill Gang. You feel me? So, hip hop, hip it to the hip hop, you don't stop the rocket to the bang bang, boogie to up, jump the boogie to the boogie to the boogie to B. And then it goes from that to what's the one thing? LL. That's jumping even further. That's jumping a good 10, that's jumping a good 5, 10 years ahead though.
I'm gonna say when the world came out.
Cause we talking like, we didn't even go into boom, we didn't even go to African Boombata. We didn't even talk about African Boombata because you know that was a style of hip hop too. His his band was a style of hip hop too, a evolutionary. So then you look at that, and then you look at who came after them. We had Curtis Blow. We had, you know, the Fat Boys. We had, you know what I'm saying, LL. We had, you know what I'm saying, Cool Mo D. This was all in that era of time. You know what I mean? Rakim, EPMD, Public Enemy. All of those artists started to emerge in that hip hop scene. But these artists weren't just talking about in the music. They weren't just going into like hip hop as a essence, as a style. You know, like the Sugar Hill Gang, they took it to more information, knowledge, while showing you the skills of what hip hop can evolve to. You see what I'm saying? And that's just, and we haven't even got to the year 2000 yet. Remember, I haven't even mentioned Tupac, Biggie, Ice Cube, MC8, Dr. Dre, Outkast, fucking UGK, Bone Thugs and I didn't even get to that yet. That all was in the 90s. But that's what I'm saying. The evolution that started things started there. When things started to change, you noticed the change in the late 80s, early 90s. Hip hop had taken a turn when NWA came out on the scene. You also heard artists. You also heard artists like Two Live Crew, Too Short, three entity groups, three entities in the music that had a set. They set a trend when it came to how people produced music then, and especially hip hop, because those artists were associated with hip hop artists. So it became an off-brand genre of hip hop. You see what I'm saying? Yet again, the evolution. Then you got Eminem's, and you got the J. Cole's and the Kendrick Lamar's, and you see what I'm saying? Now we're in the era of now. So we're talking artists that are coming into the era of now. Now we're reaching, okay, so here's what's crazy. We got into like the late, let's see, like the early, what is it? This is the early 2000s, right? We're talking after 2009, 2010 starts a spark of some things that start to happen. Because I noticed around 2010, artists started changing their format on how they produce music. Celebrity artists. You know what I'm saying? Lil Wayne started taking on a whole new craft and shit. He had already been changing his shit up already. You see what I'm saying? And I didn't even talk about the era that he came out, because he, in the early 2000s, 99, 2000, him and the Hot Boys was doing their thing in the South. Like, they had the Cash Money shit was off the top. It was off the chain. It was Cash Money or No Limit. Which one was you with? So we didn't even break into that part of it. That's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't even bring into the part that the South was involved in all of this too, because Atlanta was popping too. See what I'm saying? That's what I mean. And then let's not forget about Memphis. Like, 3-6 Mafia, do not fucking ever forget about Memphis. They will make sure you don't. And if you do fucking forget about 3-6, you'll never forget about 8 Ball and MJG. Sorry. But in the hip hop industry, you can't say hip hop nowadays without thinking about these type of artists. So here it is. I done named to you at least 40 years of music just in that, well, 20 years of music just in the last, just from the start to the damn early 2000s. The first good 20, 30 years of it. The whole problem that I seen change was when artists like Young Thug came around. Because here's where shit started to make a difference. You started seeing shit change up. Drake came out, so now everybody want to sing. T-Pain came out, now everybody want to auto-tune. Now you put these situations, you put this combination together. You got T-Pain, you got a person that sounds like T-Pain, you got an auto-tune voice like T-Pain, you got a flow that tries to match itself to Lil Wayne, but then you screeching on tracks like Young Thug. That combination in itself, verbally listening to the language that you're hearing, and then who makes it worse in the female sector? Lil Nicki Minaj. Cause now she flows, she's rapping, but all that trashy, raunchy shit she talking about has now emerged, has now birthed a whole new fucking essence of music. Hip hop artists, in the female spectrum, have to implicate sexual references in order to get recognition nowadays. And this now is birthing songs like "Pussy Hole Pink, Booty Hole Brown." Where the fuck is this shit coming from? And I mean, if you really paying attention, you already knew where it came from. It came from the fact that we took a dive when we allowed ourselves to be okay with going into songs like what Snoop said, what Snoop was doing back in the day. Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. Sucks on these dicks and sucks their dick. Let's fuck the hoe to be ya. You don't think that shit was influential? That shit sparked a thing that people couldn't handle. Believe it or not. It had a subconscious message that people attached themselves to. So now, mentally thinking, you see celebrities that come out with records like this, and they're putting it out there, and they're making millions of dollars doing this because of the song sales. But it's also causing an influential impact. That impact is imprinting on other people now. DMZ. DMX is what I think she was talking about. DMX. Another one. As as when it came down to it, I believe even he knew his music had a certain effect on people. You see what I'm saying? The evolution of hip hop, the evolution of hip hop had took a turn. And whether you think it's a turn for the worse or a turn for the best, it was a turn, a noticeable one.
Just that bounce on stage, crowd.
And that's what I'm saying. Like the love of how music was and what it evolved to, even to the current day today, you know what I mean, is a whole new thing. It's a whole new species now. It's not the same animal it was back in 73. You know what I'm saying? So we looking at what has evolved from years and years of switching and molding itself to create a whole new self. Because the evolution of hip hop has expanded in many different ways. Hell, I've seen hip hop artists go into the pop rock, and then rock, and then others go into country. We just seen just in this year alone, the first blind rapper,
Tina Turner, the Democratic Party is supposed to be the party that backs labor.
Go to country music.
75%. Go broadcaster. Add a comment. Edit.
He raps. He still raps, but he's doing country music. He's only releasing country music now. And what does that leave you with? All right. You know what I'm saying? So in a sense, that's what I often seen in a, you know, how this shit is working in many ways. Cause like, okay, now with everything dealing in the matter of, you know, thoughts and how many pills you pop and how many ops you shot and all kind of weird ass shit like this, I don't see this evolution going anywhere other than training our young children to go to war for what? A gold chain or a car or $100,000. when it's not even gonna it's not even gonna be worth it after your ass go to prison for life for murder. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And literally this is the influence that you're getting from records that you're hearing out here. You hear these women, listen to the songs. Yeah. That's what I said. Listen to these songs. Some of these artists out here that you get that these fuckers are getting platformed. They're getting millions of viewers. They're getting millions of streams on their song. And the song is completely degrading, diminishing to the human being. But somebody's paying for that music to be played. Somebody's paying for that music to be put out there. And on a massive scale, because they ain't no way in the hell you gonna tell me that you can get free radio play out here in the airways. Nope. I know that. I don't give a damn what radio station you walk in. Unless you know the people in there, you ain't getting free airplay. They might have a segment on the show or something where they'll give y'all a slot. You can play some music, but it has to be under certain circumstances. I even knew that. Taken from somebody who spoke to radio DJs while they were doing their set. But that's what I'm saying. Like,
Real Talk Real Shit, the podcast.
You have all of these different things, man, and that's why I look at this. I look at all of that, man, like for real. It's really a trifecta of situations that we look at. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of us don't even really look at how, you know what I mean, all that can happen. You know what I mean? Like I really be trying to pay attention to how this whole thing started, man. Like I swear to you, I started seeing a real. It almost looked like a car crash, because then like what we noticed, you know what I'm saying, was it was a change in the music. Because I can remember back when, if you heard an artist like, you know, Young Thug back in like the early 90s, even the late night, even into the like, you know, mid 90s to the late 90s, you would have got that motherfucker would have got clowned off stage. Oh, I was saying, like Young Thug in the 90s, I don't think so. Bro would have got clowned off stage. He wouldn't have been able to bring his music to the forefront in the years of Pac and Biggie and, you know, artists like that doing shit on the stage. You know, Busta was even out there killing it with Leaders of the New School before he went solo. We had artists like Jay-Z still bringing that metaphoric magic to the screen, even though he was seemingly sounding like he was rubbing off you know what I'm saying, Biggie himself. But you know, we ain't gonna go into all that. But anyway, just saying, like, we're talking about music and specifically the hip hop evolution. You know what I'm saying? From my standpoint, that's just my personal opinion, how I feel about this. So any of this, if y'all agree or not, I mean, I'm taking this as truly speculative. But truth be told, I'm only telling you from what I've experienced with music. And I listen to a vast level of music.
That's the different way of putting it. But I was listening, you know what I'm saying? Like how you explain the different phases. I never could tell the difference.
See what I'm saying?
I knew there was an altar in some way or form, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But like, the beats, that's what kind of like.
That's why it all sounded the same though, because it was like the beats were there And you got to remember that is what put hip hop in a place, in a positioning, because the sound was different. That sound was completely different. And what it is now, like the more distinction in hip hop, where we have this new classifications like drill music. You know what I'm saying? It's more of a new evolutionary peak for what hip hop has expanded into, because as we know, hip hop is ever expanding. Even now we're developing, we're seeing artists coming out and developing different methods of how to take the flow in, how to produce and give people a new experience in hip hop. You know what I mean? And I believe this is where all of this kind of like mashes in, because for me personally, like there's sort of a space where people tend to try to decipher hip hop from rap, I guess. What's hip hop? What's rap?
Seduction Karma. Beats mostly old school beats.
Mm-hmm. And then the beats is just old school.
USA.
Classic
Seduction Karma.
remedies.
Beats mostly old school
You know?
beats. Inlet. USA underscore Brazelcico underscore. Out of list.
So that's
Close.
the other
Button.
thing about it, you know?
Brazilian Seed Company. Remove as moderator. Button.
It's
Unpinned comment.
it's a lot.
Broadcaster.
You know what I
Out
mean?
of
When
list.
you look at the fact that,
No
you know,
broadcaster.
we
At 2131828.
are in
Switch to backgammon.
a dynamic
No broadcast.
of places
Open broadcast.
where, you know
What's
what I
voted?
mean, as a
Live
human
indication.
being out
Button.
here paying
Close.
attention to
Button.
the music,
Seduction Karma. DMZ.
it's
List.
plenty of
Seduction
ways,
Karma. Loop. Project phone.
you know
Join.
what I'm saying,
Seduction Karma. Beats mostly
that the
old
music
Add a comment.
influences
Edit box.
people.
Out of list. Seduction Karma.
It
Beats
makes
mostly old school
people
beats.
think
In list.
about it, you know, it makes people move, you know what I'm saying, it makes people respond. And often, if you were okay, so here, perfect example how music's inspiration is often influential. Do you remember back in the days when Eminem first came out?
Yeah.
You remember the whole spiel? Hi kids, you want violence? Do you want to see me stick 9 inch? Okay, so there was that album, right? Right after that album made millions, do you realize that there was a person who committed a crime and tried to blame Eminem for that? Yeah. He said, I listened to Eminem's music.
Kind of like Sting. You remember Sting?
Basically, when he did Stan, which was it was the way it influenced that song. It inspired that song out of him because he had a scenario happen like that between albums. Mind you, he talked shit about his mother in that album and got sued by his mother right after that album was released. He called his mother a drug addict. And she sued him for it. Defamation. I mean, hell, the man talked about killing his baby mother, and that was his wife at the time.
And then just the two of us.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, we have to hold, if we're going to expect anything of a redemption story for what hip hop is going through right now, and in order for us to get it back to a place, we have to admit and take accountability for the music that caused it. You know, and it ain't just the artist, it's the music, because the music style in itself inspired them to put these particular types of music together, these types of songs together. You see what I'm saying? So now looking into the situation, we have a whole generation now in music that has developed inside of this atmosphere that we know of as hip hop that is now emerging, and they want to take ownership of hip hop, which the drill, the new styles that we hear in rap now, the new flow format that they bring to the table now. It's a totally different experience from what we were used to hearing back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Most people in those eras before only spoke about what was real to them. Now we're in a situation where black people in the hip hop industry, or I should say this specifically, the hip hop industry as a whole has gone from talking about the struggles of American people, of the people in the country and across the world, to fuck you, we got money, we gonna pop all kind of pills and fuck honeys. So, you know what I'm saying? If you are wondering why this is causing children to be less cooperative to their parents or disobedient, so to speak, to their parents, maybe you should start considering blaming hip hop for certain things. But in that same sense, don't ban, you know what I mean? Don't ban the entire genre. You take out the fucking threat. Apparently there is a standing threat to this, to the genre itself. You get rid of the threat. And that is eliminating this music that does not inspire minds or occupy a space that builds character in a person.
Seduction Karma, the music with the change of lyrics, in list.
Yeah.
Hand waving wave, button. Sweet thanks, Carnivale.
That's what I'm telling you. We got too many things and too many ways that we can turn this whole thing around as far as the music.
Add a comment.
Yeah.
Recent, button.
It can turn around.
Add a comment. Edit.
It's the question of, do you choose? Think about it. Yeah, from Al Green to John Legend.
Red Circle Scene Crazy Official.
It's a lot of different music
with the change of lyrics.
It's a lot of different music. And here's the thing that's crazy. What's even crazier is when you look at the fact that there were artists that tried to stick to that tradition. So you remember, even if you look at other genres, right? Look at R&B, for example, another evolutionary genre that has changed over the years, right? R&B music used to be rhythm and blues, right? Songs that spoke with soul. It talked about everything. You could hear songs about having fun. You could hear songs about problems in your relationship. You could hear songs about love of someone, being loved by someone. Now you got R&B artists out here talking about, girl, you know the deal. I'm trying to keep it real. Wait a minute. But it went from this whole evolutionary change just to try to reinvent itself, when even at its highest form, when it was really getting going, it could have stayed at that point for 20 more years and still been good. They would have influenced a nation of people that would have embraced hip hop in a way that would have turned hip hop over to the ownership of a new generation that really would have handled the mantle the right way. Like these young artists out here. No, say that again.
That's like 3-4 decades of generational changing.
I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're looking at 40 years of work that you could have at least produced somebody who could have, anybody or a group of people at that point that could have taken in the essence and learned to embrace the originality of what brought hip hop to its formation. You know what I mean? It's so
Yeah.
many of us that take in, hip hop and music in general in different ways. You know what I'm saying? I myself have gotten to a point of passion behind music because of what music has inspired out of me.
It's like just an expression, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
A way to cope.
And I get that part of it too. But here's the problem with some of our expressions, right? You wouldn't want Jeffrey Dahmer running around here making a song, would you?
Nah.
I wouldn't either. So I'm just saying, we look at how we have to set boundaries for these things. Reason why is because they are impactful. Now, imagine if he did do a song, and not only did he do the song, but it made millions of views. It got millions of collections. Most people love the song so much that they play it every day. Do you not realize the spell that is being casted on you? Music is ritualistic. It has those traits. It can enchant you, possess you in many ways. Why do you think they have a repeat button? So you can hear it again and again and again, and then you start to relay that shit in your head, especially when it's a good song you like. So you think about that system, and then you start to think about not only that, but then you think about how that really seeps into the body and mind. Because so much of that consumes the mind that you're starting to hear yourself in the music. You're starting to see yourself in the song. Through that song, you start seeing things that have relevancy in your day to day life. You know what I'm saying? There is the reason why people fall so deep into that casted spell because they're already relating to the song. They're already relating to what the song is saying to
Seduction
you.
Karma, Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars.
Add a comment.
Yeah.
Seduction Karma, Bruno Mars, in list.
I mean, it's only doing what it's supposed to do. It's up to the people who create the music to actually harness it the right way. The people who distribute the music to give the music a platform that reflects the messages of the world, the messages from the world that really aren't messaging signals of war. They're messaging signals of hope, like beacons of light. This is what we're supposed to be doing with music. Celebration, you know, celebration. Hip hop was what I used to call the hip hop. Hip hop used to be like the newsletter from the hood. I used to listen to hip hop records just to know what was going on in the neighborhoods that they came from. Believe it or not, plenty of artists gave you the way of their streets through the music they distributed to the world. Plenty of them did. If you were listening, you heard them. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean. Like we have a way that we can put this music out here to people
Add a comment.
where
Seduction
people
Karma,
will
Bruno Mars,
really
in list.
get a message, and the message will resonate with them so to the point that they will see and be able to see through all things that come to try to post a veneer over their fucking life in the way that they should be seeing things out here. Because we get told lies all day long. We get told lies all day long. Hell, you do realize we're not even too far off from when Americans actually, or the world actually admitted and agreed, even on a public broadcasting, that Jesus was indigenous, was a man of color. You see what I'm talking about? And then we refuse, but you see this, and then you refuse to speak on the fact that if his name really was Jesus, how was that possible if the letter J is only 600 years old? You see what I'm talking about? So I mean, I'm just breaking down a small spectrum of shit, and I'm opening eyes to this whole thing. But I'm looking at it from, you know what I mean, from the other side anyway, because I've been on that side of the fence. I've been on this side of the fence. I already know what the fuck's behind that big ass veil of what looks like a pretty wall of painted murals of beauty and magnificence and all that. Yeah, that stage performance flew past me a while ago. I no longer look at things the way everybody else does now. So because of that, I talk to you guys in reference to not only that, because I still got to keep up with that shit. I got children. And until I feel like I'm ready to tell them what they will understand, then I will continue to do what I have to do to keep their eyes shaded so that they don't have to understand, they don't have to see the crazy that's going on out here and never have to experience it at some point in their life. As long as I'm alive, I'm gonna damn sure work on that all day. So I mean, it just is what it is at this point. And what we have to come to realization of is that hip hop can be influential in a positive way or a negative way. And we see that. We just have to admit it now and stop trying to put excuses. Because yes, we want hip hop, but we also know that there are people in this world that are looking to destroy what we call happy. You know? And they're willing to do anything and make it all look like it was our fault that we did it. We allowed this to happen. When in actuality, it was out of our hands a long time ago. The music industry, the hip hop genre has not been in our control since after, you know, it became a thing. Once the Jimmy Iovines of the world became, you know, introduced to the industry of music and hip hop, it was no longer a black thing. It was no longer, you know, a race based genre, you know, orchestration of music. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. Like we put ourselves in these catalogs, and then we realize that, you know what I mean. In order to now claim new things or to take the claim back for what we want to see from our music, our beloved hip hop as an origin or as an essence, we have to acknowledge where we fucked up. It's no different than, in order to move forward, you have to know where you came from. See what I'm saying? That's the way I look at it. It's so many different, you know, avenues that people try to look at to try to cut around shit. When in actuality, the fucking truth is right in front of you. You just have to pay attention and be aware of what has happened before and make note of it. Because there are people in the world now that like to rehash bullshit like that, as you can see. You know what I'm saying? Hell, segregation wasn't that long ago. We might think, that the 40s and the 30s was a while back, and all that no, it really wasn't. It really ain't. We still have living relatives we still have living people have lived and are alive from that era in time and have had to witness firsthand these oppressions, still, in recovery from these oppressions. Most others are still suffering, whether internally or externally. But I mean, I'm just talking about this whole thing. For me personally, this is just a small spectrum of it all, because what we have is something unlike nothing in the world. I mean, nothing in the world. We have always been known to do these things as a people, creating things that are unique to our world and often help us to become more ingenuitive in it. Yeah. And we're just talking about that scratching of the surface in music.
Add a comment. Seduction Karma, Bruno Mars.
So you could imagine what other ventures that people have taken, where the flourishing members of that thing would have received a lot of recognition for this had it have been something that they were able to claim, or they hadn't got beaten out of it. And then we wonder, what would have been had these things have gone full circle or come to fruition, been able to germinate and succeed. You see what I'm saying? Had these things been able to take in the nutrients that they needed to survive and succeed, then who knows where hip hop would have been? Who knows where this country, this world would have been? You know what I mean? But we ended up dealing with, people who happen to have a lot of money, a lot of power in that time. And in that influence of power and money, they took on a whole new role. They decided to push a narrative of control, knowing that there were more numbers of us than there were of them. So, in order for us to feel lesser than, we get a few people. They got a few people on their side to fight on their behalf, knowing that they were getting paid and going to get, whatever spoils of victory came. Now the influence is different. The way that they influence you is different because it's having to adjust with the time. They go through the music. They go through different things like social media, or they hit you with a post. They'll put up these posts that say things that really target certain people in a way of a specific way of order that or some people consider a way of order. You know what I mean? It's like, for me, like, I've noticed all of these different things taking place, and I mean, it's not that at one point, I had, come to terms with this a long time. No, I noticed this was happening, but in my own mind's eye, I was saying to myself that eventually this is going to turn back around because they're going to see that this is not working. This isn't working. No, before I knew it, we were already talking about Rich Gang. And I was like, who the fuck is a Rich Homie Quan? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who the hell names himself Rich Homie Quan? Apparently he did. But you know what I mean? Like, it's the artistries that took on the role of leadership that were influential in leadership. Like their leadership was exposed through the fact that their music was so spellbinding and possessive that, oh man, everybody could relate to this genre. This shit was so simply put together that everybody could fucking rock along with this. But it also enveloped a negative aspect around it because now you got songs like Papa Perk. Like, you realize opioids are addictive. If we learned anything from the Vietnam,
like speak on it because I got songs. You gotta think. You go through different phases at different parts of times of life.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I went through all of that. I went through every phase. I popped pills. I did drugs that I wasn't supposed to. I drank. I was trying to get with all kind of women. Like this did not do anything other than influence me to be like, oh, this nigga getting paid to say shit like this. Well, let me see what I can do with it. Because I mean, again, to go from watching these particular artists that made these songs go from their neighborhoods of poverty and or average lifestyles to supernatural waves. I mean, when you look at the fact that majority of these people's lives even now supersedes the average human being on this planet, on Earth's life. Some of these people are living so much better than the average human being in just a developed country nation like we live in. Like, these people are able to own not one but several houses, and we have a population of over 500,000 homeless people.
Productions official. Free music reviews and cash prize with T Teeth and Barbie Live. Grade_value_John_B joined.
You see what I'm saying?
Hand waving. Grade_value. Seduction Karma. Bruno Mars.
So I mean, you got to look at all of that too.
Grade_value_John.
And I'm not saying that because we're looking at a situation where we have to start implicating these celebrity artists for all of these problems. But at the end of the day, it don't look good that these labels are getting all this money. They barely pay their artists. The ones they do pay are the artists that are knowing that they aren't gonna let them screw them over. So they went and took all the precautions they could to solidify their self and making sure that they would only be allotted what they knew was gonna be their sole ownerships. So for me, I've noticed all of that. I noticed how they've given it up at this point. They've put people onto these things. I see it as a way for us to, embrace the new knowledge, the newfound knowledge, and instead of selling it out to people, give it to the They're already taking away the fact of how we educate ourselves. They're already trying to take that out. See what I'm saying? How do you know what's going on in this world if you can't even know where you came from? How it began? What took you through that journey that got your body here on this planet, in this place, at this position, in this time? There's a lot of them that do that. They do that all the time. They have done that. That's why they know so much. That's why they call those people elite, because they already knew these things. They've already gone and done the journey, but they had the funds behind them to do it too. However, they feel like everyone shouldn't know the truth like they do. Well, I don't think so. I don't believe that. I believe that we all should know the truth. I believe that we all should be embraced with knowledge that speaks on the truth. We should not be hindered from learning things that enable us to learn the full circumferencing circle that is the planet we live on. I don't get that part. You want to create a planet, you want to create a country with some of the greatest minds, right? Well, how the hell do you do that if you keep telling everybody they got to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for college? Nobody want to go to school for that, to be in debt, and then have to worry about how much it's going to cost you to pay it off for the rest of your damn life. That's insane. It shouldn't be that way either. Let's just keep it real. Like, the government takes enough taxes from us right now that they don't have to do school. But because they realize how much money school is, because after the, I forget what president it was, but after they did the military act, where veterans that all military soldiers that came home from the military and wanted to pursue.
Here are some things you checked. Here are some things you can cancel button. Double tap to activate. Instagram.
Wanted to pursue a further career in education or other things. They basically made that whole effort in order to push out people so that they would be in a bracket where, only if you can afford it. And at one point it was affordable. But now that shit is extraordinarily high. It's ridiculous how much a school costs nowadays. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. 40,000 a year was like one of the low end schools in this country. And that's low. 40, that's high. That's crazy stupid high. It's low, but the low, one of the lowest is I think 20,000, I think, and that's a semester. They had 20,000 a semester. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, and that's what I mean. So we're talking upwards of $100,000 for a school year. So I mean, how is this the new thing now? We're talking about we need our young people to be heavily educated or highly educated so that we can advance and we can take our country to the next level, right? When we're charging our citizens thousands of dollars already just to get them educated, we're forcing them to pay that way because we don't want to take away the fact that colleges don't have to have fees. It's an institution. It's a school. It's knowledge that we need. How do you expect an engineer to learn how to build an engine? How do you think a telecommunicator learns their skills on how to transfer calls or take troubleshooting answer or questions and dictate the right answers to relay? If you do not have the education for this, you'll not know how to do this. This would be something you would have to learn freelance. Basically, just learning it off the top of your head as you go along. So for me, it just draws in all of these different things. You know what I mean? And mind you, we've jumped off of 50 of hip hop's 50th anniversary because mainly just going into the context of hip hop for me goes into real life because that's what I used to often associate hip hop with. For example, if you remember the artist Chamillionaire, right? You remember his first album, Sound of Revenge?
Nah, I catch some bits and pieces. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so if you go through that album, bro, I want you to do me a solid, bro. There's a song on that album where the song kind of starts off where he's telling a story. When he starts rapping in the song, because it's a little introduction. He doesn't say anything through the introduction, but as the drum line kicks off into the track, into the song, he gets into it. He gets into a story where he's, huh?
Is there somebody else on this song?
No, it's just him. It's just him. Yep, it's just him. And in this song, it's really, you got to really listen to what he's telling and what he's talking about in the song. This song definitely goes into distinct details about what he's experiencing at that time. So the song takes place where he's at a bar, he's chilling, he's having a drink or whatever. He came into the bar and he sat down. You know what I'm saying? So as he coming in, he taking a drink. A girl walks into the bar and comes in and sat down next to him, and she starts having a drink. And at the time you see what I'm saying?
I'm tapping tomorrow, bro.
Hey, for real, man. It was a pleasure having you on, bro. I appreciate you for tapping in and taking a listen to what we talking about, bro.
Yeah, tomorrow, bro.
All right, brother. Take it easy, man. You have a good night, bro.
Live indication label.
Yeah.
Button 2.
So
close.
That's
Button.
what I'm saying. Like
Double tap to activate.
the story is very, very in depth. I cannot remember the name of the song to save my life right now. But at some point in time I will come back to that. And I do want to give you guys that because I feel like that's something that, you know what I'm saying, would really, really resonate with y'all. Y'all have to literally listen to this track, man. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna look it up and I might jump in the Discord server and play it in the music box because that song really hit home for me, man. It was like, wow, bruh told a whole story out of that track, man. And he really gave people a vibe that was how you connect. Is how you're supposed to connect with your crowd, with your audience. The listeners have to be held into a state of suspense when they catch these words that you're talking about, because not everybody's, you know what I'm saying, gonna be able to understand. But those of us that are listening, we know what you're talking about, and we got you, bro. Copy that. So say that and keep saying that, especially when it's something that we want to hear, you know. But anyway, let me get up out of here. It's getting late. We are already way past the hour. So you know how it goes. Peasy's open mic or Talk Back Tuesday is next. So I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in with us tonight. However, though, and you can always check us out tomorrow. Tomorrow's Talk It Tuesday. I will refer you to the Mr. J Guns official IG page to go check the story for my poll. All right. I appreciate y'all for tuning in with us. Check y'all out later. Hey, I love you guys, man. I love you guys for